This is my deck, and with these surroundings, it's got me wondering, what is the inherent value of nature? So, like, look right there. Look at that. Look at that dude. He's doing his squats, his push-ups. Anyways. Oh, there's something on my screen. Go away. Okay. What is the inherent value of nature? And I'm sorry about that long introduction. So, first of all, there's a lot of people that seem to think that there's something valuable about nature, right? Like, nature preservation is something that's important. But what if you were to ask them why? Why is nature important? One obvious reason people might give is that with more nature, we have, reduced CO2 emissions, so that it's going to help humans in the long run. But then you can tell them, oh, we could do, I'm looking at the lizard over there. I'm telling them, you could tell them, oh, well, we can do CO2 offsets. So we can fix that problem. And there seems something unsatisfying about that. To rid the world of all of its nature and then to just chemically, produce some oxygen or just pull out some CO2 and store it in cans instead of in trees. Something about that seems wrong, doesn't it? But what exactly? Another argument, I guess, is that, we've had nature for a very long time. Do we think I just killed that ant? I just flicked an ant off my hand. So I'm even disregarding living life. But anyways, we've had nature for a long time, right? If we evolved, that means that we evolved in an environment with nature, so we're attuned to it. It's like in our genes as something that we're to be connected to. But that might be a reason why we feel the way we do. Can it validate that behavior? Maybe killing is something that's very natural to us because we evolved in situations where we had to do that, where if we were in opposition with somebody else, we just go and hit them and pummel them down. But we have these modern inhibitions because we realize that that's probably not something that we should be doing, even if we were doing that in the past. So what's a good reason for us to keep around look at that guy go to keep around nature? That's what I really want to know. So that's, again, just what we're going to explore as I'm in this environment. And my nose is feeling so itchy right now. I'm allergic to trees, so maybe I have a bit of a bias against nature. I don't know. I love nature. I love to go on hikes. And I get this impression when I'm in nature that I'm connected to something profound. If you go to, like, I've gone to Disneyland, and then you look at all the rides and the way it's all laid out, and you just think this was all planned. This was all just done intentionally. And because of that, it has less value. But is that true? Wouldn't it make more sense that because it was designed by other human beings, it has more inherent value? Because maybe the only thing that we can all agree on is that humans have value. Killing other people isn't right. And maybe not everyone agrees with this, but I think that most do. And everyone probably agrees that at least some people have value. This sucks. Whatever. This is not natural, so doesn't even matter. Okay, what was the point I was making? All right, so you go to these places, and I get this sense, this is artificial. When I'm in nature, I'm connected to something that is superior. It's better. It's beyond. It's beyond the unnatural. But why? What makes it superior? What rule could... Oh, shoot. I really messed up with that one. What rule could make that the case? Why do I even think that? I'm so distracted playing this because it is very difficult. So I'm just going to not do this as well. That's okay. I'm just going to let him take the tower. I hope you guys love this gameplay. But let me try to make the point. So if you go to Disneyland and you get the impression that this is unnatural, so well played, thank you. So it's worse. Is that actually something that's valid? Because there is a difference in that if you do something in nature, that's more... There's a word for it. The word isn't coming to me, but it's something that is unpredictable, right? So if you go to Disneyland, it's predictable what's going to happen, what you're going to see, and it was all designed for you. But if you go out into nature, and there's a word for this, I want you guys to comment, it's just something that is sort of spontaneous and unpredictable and, importantly, uncurated. But on the other hand, a human, some art guy that just wants to be really annoying, could create an exhibit made of like random colored pixels, or pixels in blobs, in randomly associated blobs. Oh, lizard. And in that, he could have this randomness, right? So it's uncurated. So does this make it as good as nature? And nature is also not random. And I also had an impression once. So I was in, I had been in Washington, I believe, or was it Colorado? I think it was Colorado. And we were driving along, and everything was covered in snow. It was beautiful. And there were these spots where there were these huge trees growing up, and other spots where there were hardly any trees. And I think, oh, that's beautiful. How did that get there? And then I think about it for a second, and I realize those trees are huge, and there's no other trees, whatever, because they get a competitive advantage by doing that, because that's what they need to do to get sunlight. And trees, nature, is really just warfare for sunlight. There was another time when I was going on a hike near where I live, and it was a kind of a visceral image. There was this tree that was getting wrapped around by another one. This other tree was choking it, and taking the spot with its leaves perched up, collecting the sunlight, as the other one was pressed downward. Okay, I'm gonna lose this game too. Doesn't matter. That image is just horrible, because nature is brutal. I guess it's not just randomness, it's a large scale war. Oh, look at that, there's a butterfly over there. There's a butterfly. I don't know if you guys can see it. You probably can't. But I'm just surrounded by nature. Although of course you can probably also hear the airplane. Anyways, this is kind of a difficult thing to talk about. It's difficult to come to a conclusion as to whether nature has inherent good or doesn't. But I can at least tell you that we have a natural inclination to respect nature, to see it as something beyond us, even if we can conquer it in this day and age. And that's another thing I want to know. We can't necessarily even conquer it. If we were to use all of our nukes on the Earth, it wouldn't even change it for an interminable period, whatever, maybe 10,000 years later, the radiation goes away and things go back to normal. You know, you take all of the humans and all of our tools and we try to destroy the Earth. We can't even do it. Now, whatever, CO2, maybe we can have indirect effects that will destroy a lot of it, but we can't physically undo the Earth. So, in a way, in that way at least, that was probably a horrible play. It is beyond us. Nature is beyond us, in that it's difficult to destroy. But its difficulty to destroy even, I hope I might have killed that ant, even a point? Is that even a consideration when we're talking about the value of nature? It's really hard to think about this stuff while playing. Let me do a commentary until 1:20, and then we're going to go back to nature. Guys, because I know you love Clash Royale. Here we go. Clash Royale content. I put the knight there, and it's just going to die. That was a horrible play. But look, it's protecting nothing. Its ability isn't triggering. We got to kill this stuff over here. And the Firecracker still lives. That card is so annoying. And he has an Expo. So what? I play a knight. I hope it kills all the skeletons. And then... Okay, we're at 1:20. I'm going back to nature. The thing is, I quit Clash, man. I quit Clash. I can't think. I think my brain is just slow. I didn't get enough sleep. I need some caffeine. But let me talk to you about nature, because that's what I care about right now. I care about nature. Nature, I'm going to say, is not a good. I don't see, unfortunately, any inherent moral value to nature. The way I see it, the only thing that I believe has value, like that I can think of, is myself, and then by extension, other human beings. And nature doesn't really reach those standards. Animals can maybe approximate it, but I can describe nature as useful by its effects. If I see studies, that makes people feel better, it makes me feel better, then I can try to keep it based off of that. But it's not something that is the same in that it's not a morality. It's not something that's right or wrong. It's just useful. And that sucks because there's something inside of me that's yelling against it, going, no, it's nature, it's nature. It's nature. Well, I know inside me it's nature. But can you guys tell me, so what? It's nature. And what? Why should I value it inherently? This whole thing has been kind of a mess. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you guys on a little walk to see some nature. The Clash Royale content that I've been integrating into this, sometimes I can find a mix. I am not finding a mix right now at all. Look at this beautiful little spot. Here, look at the pond over there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Why is it beautiful? We're not going to talk about aesthetics. This video has gotten too long and it's been totally unproductive. So all I want to do is just leave with you an impression. Okay? I just want to give you an impression. And the impression is this. At this point, I think that morality, wrapping everything in morality, is a difficult thing to do. And it's okay. It's okay to look at nature and love it, and because you love it, to protect it. I can simultaneously think that it doesn't have moral worth and still want to protect it and still see that it's pretty, and I think this can apply to more than just nature. So just go out there, experience things, and think about what you love. And even if you can't justify why you love it, and it's just due to the environment you were raised in or our ancient human past, at this point, so what? So what? I've had all this conversation. We talked about the morality of nature. Is it good or bad? Is it have anything inherent? Look at that. Look at that butterfly. Look at that. Look at it perched there. That is something to protect. So go out there, experience nature, and experience these things, whether or not other people say they're right, because you only live for so long. And thus ends my rambling and my horrible Clash gameplay. But it's going to get better. And I'm going to see you. Well, I'm not going to see you. I can't see you. But I'm going to see this camera very soon. Good luck.